e agora com Michael Leander. Is that correct?
Leander.
Leander. And yeah, switching to English. Michael, great presentation, by the way. Everyone enjoyed it, I believe. And so did I. I have so many questions for you. I'll just try to keep it to the essential. What is being a customer, or actually, what is a customer-centric mentality, and how can we apply it?
I think a customer-centric mentality evolves around customers. So that starts with knowing who the customers are, what their preferences are now and in the future. That's all it is. And it's being, from a marketing perspective, I mean, one is the business, the delivery side of a business, but from a marketing perspective, it's being where they are. So you don't necessarily want your messages all over the place if reality is that your customers are spending all their time in Bairro Alto, for example, right? Then you need to have your messages there.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You actually talked about omni-channel and multi-channel, and it doesn't matter what it actually is, as long as you just need to be by the side of your customer, right?
That's right, wherever your customers are. So omni-channel and multi-channel, I think, are basically the same thing. We've been talking about multi-channel marketing for a very long time. Now this omni-channel comes in, I think, to address all the new digital channels there are. But you summed it up wonderfully. Be where your customers are, that's it.
Do marketers need to reinvent the wheel?
I don't think they need to reinvent the wheel, actually. I don't. I'm very much opposed to that. But it's understandable because new people come in, they want to sort of put their footprint on whatever is going on. But I do think that marketers need to maybe take that box I talked about, empty everything in it, look at consumer or business buyer behavior now and what they can expect in the future. And then look at, are the tools, the tricks, the channels, the messaging system that we have in the box now, is that appropriate for that scenario? And I think most will find it's not. And then sometimes it's actually easier, if you want a beautiful building, it's easier to break the one you have down and build a new one, rather than remodeling the one you have, if that even made sense.
What is Aid Lira?
Well, it's a measurement mechanism that I came up with some years ago because I got tired of listening to people comparing likes, right? So what it stands for is attention, interest, desire, from the well-known AIDA formula, if you will. And then Lira addresses the like. Like is a prerequisite. Some places it's not called like, it's called followers and all kinds of other things. That is a prerequisite to get the conversation going. So that's the L in Lira. So if you take the IRA, that's interaction, recommendation, and action. And the action is really where you want to go, right? But recommendation has value as well, because that would be you if you like. Are you a Benfica fan?
No, I'm actually Bolonense.
Okay.
It's another.
I can't even pronounce that, so they're probably very good. But you know, if if something great happens and you pass that message on with a little bit, I have a year pass and so should you. That does have value. But the formula I put into place really to get people to focus on the action, because that's the hard part. To get you to actually do something, especially if you have to part with your money. Right? There's a lot of friction going on there. Yeah, so that's what the model is.
So one last question. If you had to give a big advice to a marketer, what would you say? The biggest advice you could give?
Biggest advice I can get is a little bit, that maybe doesn't sound as a very good advice, but it is to be allowed to fail. To work in organizations only that have adapted a culture of experimentation, because with that comes a culture of failure, where it's okay to fail. And you have to fail to learn and to improve. You ask Drayton Bird and other people who's been around for a long time, they'll tell you they became good because they failed so many times and learned from it. I think that's the base. But the problem is most do not find organizations that allow that. Failure is a failure, and failure gets you fired, right? And we need to change that. I think that's my biggest advice.
Okay, Michael, thank you so much. And I hope to see you again in Portugal.
Likewise.